All right, Cody, shut off the music, please. Thank you. No intro music today, my friends. This is Howard Riell, and this is Real Truth. And let's get right to it. Item from the Holy New York Times, Dateline, the Holy Land, Jerusalem. He has the pedigree. Mayor Ettinger is a grandson of the namesake of Meir Kahane, the slain American-Israeli rabbi considered the father of far-left Jewish militancy. He has the record. For years, Mr. Ettinger has joined the radical group of Israeli settlers known as the Hilltop Youth in clashes with Palestinians and Israeli forces, leading to a ban on his entering Jerusalem or the occupied West Bank. Stop! My friends, the anti-Semitic New York Times is right on pace for its usual crappy reportage. The New York Times at one point was the paper of record, now it's nothing. Look at how they report, look at how they skew and spin the news on such a basic thing as Israel's right to its own capital city. First of all, they identify Rabbi Meir Kahane, not as a rabbi, but simply as Meir Kahane, and as the father of far-right Jewish militancy. Actually, that's wrong. Actually, the father of far-right Jewish militancy is God. Because Meir Kahane lived his life in accordance with the Torah, and the Torah is the word of God. So if you want to make a list of far-right Jewish militants, you better begin with the Lord Almighty. That's thing number one. Number two, by saying that Mr. Ettinger, Mayor Ettinger, has joined a radical group of Israelis, right off the bat, they're trying to color your opinion. And two, as far as clashes with Palestinians, well, that's not their fault. Palestinians have always insisted on clashes. And as long as they are, for some reason, allowed to remain in Israel, there will always be clashes. The fact that Palestinians who are terrorists and murderers and hate the state of Israel are permitted to enter Jerusalem. And here's a Jew, grandson of a great rabbi, who is banned from entering Jerusalem, tells you all you need to know about today's Israeli government and how anti-Torah and anti-God and anti-Jewish the government is, the Knesset is. The New York Times, in its piss-poor coverage, also refers to the West Bank as occupied. And yeah, it's occupied by Palestinian terrorists, as are other parts of Israel, and I don't know why Israel continues to allow this. The Times article continues. He has the ideology. In a series of Bible-quoting blog posts that amount to a manifesto. Stop! So, my friends, do you understand what the New York Times is saying? If you quote the Bible, you are preparing a manifesto. Now, manifesto is an interesting article, and as a journalist for 37 years, God help me, I know the language that journalists use. When journalists say that someone wrote a manifesto, they're coloring him as a wacko. Someone probably in his darkened basement building bombs and putting out some fringe element thought to explain his bizarre actions. As a matter of fact, the Bible is not a manifesto. The Bible, the Torah, is the Word of God. And if Mr. Ettinger is quoting the Word of God, that's only to his credit. And it's to the discredit of rags like the New York Times that seek to minimize and slander him and anyone who lives his life according to the Bible. Now, the Times piece goes on. Mr. Ettinger calls for the dispossession of Gentiles who inhabit the Holy Land. Wrong! More piss-poor reportage. No one is calling for dispossessing Gentiles. Gentiles includes everybody in the world who's not Jewish, and such an idea is found nowhere in the Torah. And I'm sure it's found nowhere in Mr. Ettinger either. Mr. Ettinger wants to dispossess the Palestinians, the terrorists, the Nazis, who've been waging an unceasing war against the Jewish people in Israel since at least 1920, when pogroms, groups of Palestinian Arabs ran through the streets of various cities in what was then Palestine, butchering Jews in the streets. In the 1920s, in the 1930s, in the 1940s, the leader of the Palestinians went to Germany to meet with Hitler to bring the Holocaust to Palestine. Mr. Ettinger doesn't want to dispossess anybody except murderers and terrorists. Can you blame him? And he wants the modern Israeli state to be a new kingdom of Israel ruled by the laws of the Torah. Well, yes, so does God. So does every Bible-living Jew. So does every Torah Jew. So does every Orthodox Jew. As far as I can understand, so do most Christians. Nothing wrong with that. What could possibly be better than living according to the Torah? Well, the New York Times doesn't care for that. The left-leaning, secular New York Times has no taste for that. Terrorist Nazis, they're okay defending. But Jews and Christians who want to live according to the Bible, that's not good. That doesn't play well on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. The Times piece continues, the hatchet piece continues, amid politicians' promises to crack down on Jewish terrorism suspects. Stop! My friends, I'm sure you'll agree with me. The one problem plaguing Israel has been Jewish terrorism, hasn't it? You can't trust those Jews in the Jewish state. This is part of the bizarro, bass-ackwards world of the liberal, where the victims are really the criminals and the criminals are really the victims. And in a country that has been and continues to be torn apart by Islamic terrorism, of course, the Times agrees with the Knesset that the problem is Jewish terrorism. If one listens closely, one can almost hear a cuckoo clock in the background. Cuckoo, cuckoo. It is that insane. An Israeli court ordered Mr. Ettinger held for 5 days. The police said he was accused of conspiracy, membership in an illegal organization, and, quote, other things, unquote. Well, my friends, if we're going according to the Israeli courts and the Israeli police, then I guess the illegal organization that Ettinger belongs to would be Judaism. Because the leftists in Israel have been trying to rub out Judaism since 1948. They won't succeed. Just like the Palestinian vermin will not succeed. Because the Jewish state is the Holy Land. And our writings tell us that God never takes his eyes off the Holy Land. And as long as there are loyal Jews willing to sanctify his name in the Holy Land, they will prevail. Despite what the New York Times hopes. It's Wednesday, and it's real truth, my friends. Stick around. All right, guys, welcome back to Real Truth. I am Howard Riell. There is no denying it, nor will I attempt to. Let's move on. Item from YNetNews.com. Mayor Ettinger, who was arrested on Monday by the Shin Bet, that's the secret police in Israel, was accused by the security service of heading a cell planning to commit a series of violent acts against the Palestinians as part of a plan he branded the revolt. Stop. My friends, I'm going to keep hammering away at this because truth must always be defended. First of all, the Shin Bet is a scummy little organization that brutalizes Jews in Israel, especially they get a special charge out of brutalizing religious Jews. Once they arrest a person, they can say he did anything. They're not under oath. And so, yeah, when they arrest someone, they say he was going to do this, he was going to do that. The fact of the matter is there are Palestinians in Israel, and that is an outrage. And it is a sharp sword on the throat of Israel. And if Shin Bet and the left-leaning Knesset don't understand, and they do understand, they do. They don't care. They don't care. Because they figure living with terrorists is better than living with religious Jews, religious people in general. That's how sick the modern state of Israel, at least the leftist part of it, has become. And that's how sick the Shin Bet is. So they want religion out of Israel. And that's why they're doing whatever they're doing to Mayor Ettinger. My guess is they're brutalizing him in jail. In fact, here's this related piece in the Jerusalem Post. Mayor Ettinger, the grandson of Mayor Kahane, on Tuesday accused Israel's internal security service, the Shin Bet, of abusing him while he was in their custody on suspicion of leading a violent extremist right-wing organization. My friends, you remember the Shin Bet. Whenever there's a demonstration in Israel and you get a whole bunch of religious moms pushing baby carriages, protesting something, the Shin Bet are the nice fellows who wade into that group of moms with baby carriages with billy clubs and hammer them over the head and knock the baby carriages over. That's the Shin Bet. They are a disgrace, one among many in the state of Israel. Mayor Ettinger is showing himself to be a true grandson of the great Rabbi Kahane and a very loyal Jew and a good Israeli. And the fact that the sick Israeli government opposes religion at every step only says good things about Mayor Ettinger and says terrible things about the secular anti-religious element in the Knesset. I'm going to keep going on this. Item from the Associated Press. The arrest of a well-known Jewish extremist. Stop! My friends, the Associated Press is just as guilty as the rest of the left-leaning press. If they don't like you, you're an extremist. If they like you, you're a freedom fighter or a civil rights activist. Believe me, you can play with words all day long and make them say whatever you want them to say. So right off the bat, the Associated Press shows that it's piss-poor journalism that is practicing. With its focus primarily on preventing Palestinian terrorism, Israeli authorities now pledge to direct more resources towards domestic assailants. Stop! What focus on preventing Palestinian terrorism? Where? The Shin Bet's not focusing on preventing Palestinian terrorism, nor is the Knesset, because if they were, the Palestinians would be gone. If you have a crazed maniac in your house with an axe who's trying to kill you, what are you going to do? You're going to watch him closely? You're going to stay up all night to see if he starts climbing the stairs towards your bedroom? You're going to negotiate with him that he can't have an axe, but okay, maybe a baseball bat. You're going to try and make him a friend? You're going to try and feel his pain? You're going to argue on behalf of his rights to murder you? Or are you going to do what a sane individual would do and get that person out of the house? By the way, since these various news organizations are mentioning well-known Jewish extremists, I thought I would compile a list, just for you, my listeners, of well-known Jewish extremists. Here's a partial list. Moses, Pinchas, Joshua, Samson, Yiftach, David, Saul, the Maccabees. By the way, you think the government here is any different? You think leftists and the government, liberals here, are any different than the liberals in Israel? It's liberals who are the ones who always want to censor those who disagree with them, take away our guns, crack down on free speech and free worship, and always willing to apply the tag extremist to anyone who disagrees with them. In this country, who are the extremists? The extremists are anyone who has a Ron Paul bumper sticker, or those who support the Constitution, those who speak out against overly intrusive government. Liberals everywhere are the same. They are the true extremists. Item. From lifenews.com, New Hampshire has become the second state to cancel state taxpayer funding for Planned Parenthood abortion businesses after multiple expose videos have caught the abortion business selling the body parts of aborted babies. The Granite State follows Louisiana, where pro-life Governor Bobby Jindal made the decision to cancel Medicaid funding to the abortion company. In New Hampshire, the Republican-led Executive Council has rejected roughly $650,000 in state taxpayer funding for the abortion company. The move follows state Democrats defeating a bill to defund Planned Parenthood. Unquote. My friends, by defeating a bill to defund Planned Parenthood, Democrats are saying they're all in favor of chopping babies into pieces and selling the parts. Question, is that the political party that you want to support and be part of? The party of baby parts. Item from the end of the American Dream blog. Did you know that Planned Parenthood gets more than $500 million from the federal government every single year? Did you know that the Obama administration gives an additional $35 million each year to the United Nations Population Fund to promote abortion and sterilization around the world? And did you know that the radical new Sustainable Development Agenda being launched by the United Nations in September includes a goal of providing access to abortion services to every single woman on the entire planet by the year 2030. The things that you're about to read in this piece, and I invite you, my friends, go to the end of the American Dream blog. Things you're about to read are very disturbing. The demonic population control agenda of the New World Order is greatly advancing, and Barack Obama and the U.S. government are at the tip of the spear. Unquote. My friends, you are free to have any opinion you want about abortion. It's a very personal choice. But I'm here to tell you that the United States government needs to get its snout out of such choices. The government has no role in deciding whether or not someone can get an abortion. Now, I would advise you not to have an abortion. But I would also advise the federal government to get the hell out of Americans' lives. Handle the stuff we need handled and get the hell out of the way on other issues. Item. From the DCClothesline.com, they are a force to be reckoned with, bringing tanks, guns, and the authority of shiny government badges, and they want what's yours. Civil asset forfeiture, theoretically designed to fight the drug war, has created a loophole in law enforcement that's blown open a doorway to systematic government theft, all legalized through policy, that allows police and public officials to take away possessions from citizens who've been caught up in stings but not necessarily charged or even suspected of a crime. The range of cases where undeserving people have lost everything to the seizure policy have become extreme. Family homes, vehicles, bank accounts, and seized cash all spent and handed out to ranking authorities before it can ever be called into account. Civil asset forfeiture has created a slush fund for police and judicial figures on the take, making the already tainted conflict of interests inherent in the drug war that are much more corrupt and dirty. With the spotlight provided by independent media on the internet, we're witnessing a systematic abuse by the watchers at its richest and most fabulous. Politicians, local and regional officials, judges, cops, prosecutors, everyone is invited to party with stolen cars, luxurious houses, spending cash, flashy jewelry, and other valuable assets seized from people who might be criminals. Unquote. Or might not. Related item from the website Tech Dirt. asset forfeiture. Drop the charges, keep the property. I guess the person behind Seiki Company Limited should feel appreciative he actually was graced with charges rather than just had his purchased vehicle seized and spirited away with a mumbled explanation and some dodgy paperwork. Seiki Company bought several luxury vehicles from a place called Texas Motors, which oddly enough is in Florida, with the intent to sell them for a significant markup to wealthy Japanese citizens. This is possibly illegal, but not because of any explicit export ban. The only reason it verges on illegal is because resellers like Seiki ever so lightly tread on the toes of major manufacturers and their authorized dealers who do the same thing. Unquote. The bottom line, asset forfeiture. What they had was taken by the police, even though they were never charged with a crime. My friends, it can happen to you and me. It can happen to you and me. Item from Anti-Media Dateline, Denver, Colorado. Last week, a Denver man was arrested and charged with multiple felonies, but not for stealing, committing fraud, or engaging in violent crime. He was targeted for attempting to educate jurors about their rights in the courtroom. Michael Iannicelli, 56, set up a table outside of Lindsay Flanagan Courthouse in Denver in order to educate jurors about jury nullification. Jury nullification is the process by which members of juries can nullify unjust laws by finding defendants charged with them not guilty. Iannicelli is charged with tampering with a jury, a felony in Colorado that carries a minimum bond of $5,000. He was charged by the Denver District Attorney for 7 counts of tampering and has since bailed out of jail. Iannicelli was in the second day of a planned 3-day outreach to educate jurors entering the courtroom about the power of jury nullification. He was handing out flyers when he was arrested. His goal was to inform potential jurors about a vital, centuries-old function of juries, unquote. So, my friends, even though this gentleman, Mr. Iannicelli, was simply educating people about our law, he was arrested. So tell me what the hell you and I can expect when we also violate no law. Why do you think we'll be treated any better than he has been? Item from the Daily Sheeple. There isn't much that feels more self-reliant than going out to your backyard hen house to get fresh eggs for breakfast. There's no need for USDA approval. You know what your hens have been eating, and you don't have to pay a premium price and hope that the farm that raised the chickens that laid those grocery store eggs actually treated the hens humanely. Bonus points if the bacon you fry up comes from a local farm, and bonus points if you raise that little piggy yourself. Raising backyard chickens is incredibly rewarding. It's pure freedom, this control over your own food. Of course, until you have to register your chickens. Then, as food freedom activist Joel Salatin says, quote, everything I want to do is illegal. With so many people moving towards self-reliance, you had to know it was only a matter of time before the government got involved, and now they have. But don't worry, it's all for your good. In North Carolina, the state's Department of Agriculture wants to protect you against the avian flu. So regardless of the number of chickens you have, you must register for a State Farm ID number as of August 1, 2015. Of course, that was 4 days ago. Surprisingly, this is free. Not surprisingly, this is mandatory. Item from theweeklystandard.com. Hillary Clinton recently sat down for a chair chat with the chairman of the South Carolina Democratic Party, Jamie Harrison. During the interview, as in many of her speeches to people who live in the South, Hillary Clinton put on a Southern accent that is absent from her speeches to Northerners. Stop! My friends, Hillary Clinton is spending a lot of money and going to a lot of trouble to try and convince people that she's authentic, that she's real, that she's honest. Well, she's full of crap. We've seen and we've watched it on videos. When she's standing in front of a Southern audience, she's got a Southern accent. When she's in front of an African-American audience, she's got an African-American audience. Hillary Clinton is not only stupid and dishonest, she's a liar to boot, and she is inauthentic. We'll be right back.
There was a man sent from God whose name was John. This man came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all through him might be into the world. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 6 through 9. America, are you wise about what is going on in the headlines for the day? So I'm Daniel Wild, Dr. Dan Coe, a graduate of the School of Hard Knocks. I'm sorry, no degrees after my name. But I'll tell you what, I've taken the temperature of America, and there's a fever. And America's wild about freedom. Mondays, 2 to 5 on 1360 Orion.
An emergency preparedness plan for your home, car, school, and office is a must. Knowing how to store water safely, survive extreme temperature changes, provide reliable shelter, first aid, and sanitation is critical. Knowing where to get the best lights, radios, and other supplies is easy. There's Survival, located in 3366 South Broadway, is a professional, reputable, full-service business providing realistic preparedness supplies at affordable prices. Stop by, go online, or call 303-781-0343, 866-781-0343.
Great Plains Power has been providing reliable electrical power systems in the Rocky Mountain area since 1992. Our systems rely on the sun to help make you self-reliant for your power needs. Solar energy can be scaled to fit any situation, from complete power independence to backup power for the short term. Our expertise focuses on standalone power, but we have extensive experience with utility interactive systems as well. Custom capabilities as modest as emergency lighting all the way to commercial scale power. Great Plains Power is a full service company. We service everything we sell. We provide and design turnkey packages, custom design system, and parts for do-it-yourself. With more than 20 years of specialized experience at your disposal, let us know what your power concerns or goals are. Reach us by phone or the internet. Call 303-239-9963. That's 303-239-9963. Or go to GreatPlainsSolar.com. Now this is the testimony of John when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, "Who are you?" He confessed and did not deny, but confessed, "I am not the Messiah." And they asked him, "What then? Are you Elijah?" He said, "I am not." "Are you the prophet?" And he answered, "No." The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 19 through 21.
All right, guys, welcome back to Real Truth. I have got a video for you right here that you are going to like. It is from, I guess this is Wayne Allen Root Week. It's my good buddy Wayne Allen Root. He's been a guest a couple times on this show. He's talking about the one person that Obama and Hillary must stop at all costs. Let's listen.
Hi, I'm Wayne Allen Root for Personal Liberty. Someone's getting very nervous. Barack Obama, Howard Chairman, Eric Andrews, John Corzine, to name a few. And I know why. I wrote a book called The Murder of the Middle Class about the unending conspiracy and alliance with the objective of the and the whole that has affiliated with this partnership that's involved in doesn't eat foreigners or foreign governments or foreign money or foreign sales. Your wife goes over to jail or teaches you in an SIU or the bar association to Chinese foreigners to collect you. Your ears are hanging, bobbling. Donald Trump doesn't know you. That means he doesn't care what the news says or does. He doesn't care what the president thinks. That makes him dangerous to your family. That makes Trump a huge threat. Trump can do anything with right actions and spread CNN.
Okay, that is in fact Wayne Allen route, and it's an excellent video, and we're going to take a break.
It's nothing more than a shot in the dark. If you're taking supplements or following health programs without an accurate scientific evaluation of your health, from the comfort of your home or office, you can work personally with health expert Eileen Derby, a Dr. Wilson health practitioner who scientifically evaluates your current health and provides you a personalized program and affordable products. Get real results, get nutritional balancing, and go healthynext.com. Call 866-463-4533. That's 866-463-4533.
Great Plains Power has been providing reliable electrical power systems in the Rocky Mountain area since 1992. Our systems rely on the